Hello, my name is Sue Liemer, and I'm a professor at Elon Law, and I will be teaching the Legal Method and Communication course this fall. Joining me today are two of my colleagues, Professor Vanessa Zboreak and Professor Tiffany Atkins, and we would like to introduce you to the course, Legal Method and Communication. So I'd like to start by asking my colleagues, Professor Atkins, perhaps you'd like to go first. What would you like the students to know about the course?
Well, hello, nice to see you all and meet you all in our virtual space. I'd like students to get familiar with the writing process. Legal method is about the method of writing. We don't expect you as first year law students to sit down and know how to write or to know how to write a legal document. So the course is designed to introduce you to the methods of writing, and you'll learn this more and more every semester. But I'd like you to come ready to learn how to write and how to follow methods for writing.
Thank you. And Professor Zboreak, what would you like the students to know?
So I guess I'd also like students to come in thinking about the C in LMC, that this is a chance to really consider how you take what you know and how you take your ideas of how to solve problems for people and share them out with the people who are going to trust you in 3 years when you're their lawyer, and the courts that you'll be part of as part of a judicial system, and other attorneys who are your coworkers in the profession. So I think it's an opportunity from the very beginning to think about what kind of lawyer you're here to become and what that's going to mean for you and how you're going to participate and communicate and get all of your good ideas across.
And as you're hearing from the other professors, in this course, you'll be working on a lot of the really foundational skills, the building block skills. And that's why it's an important course to stay on top of week by week. A lot of students will tell me at the end of the term that they wish they had understood that at the beginning of the term, that everything builds in this course. There's no sort of standalone unit. It all builds on top of each other and continues. So do your best work each week and use your resources. That's my best advice. We have lots of resources in place for you. In addition to being able to communicate with your professors at any time, all of your professors have teaching assistants. We have a writing specialist who will help you with basic mechanics of writing. We do writing boot camps to give you some focused time to work on your writing projects. And we've got lots of resources in place, and we hope that you'll take advantage of them.
Yeah, I think that's important. The planning part of legal writing. Like I said earlier, no one, even experienced lawyers, just sits down and says, I'm going to write. They have a plan. They map it out. Here's when I'm going to devote time to writing. Here's when I'm going to devote time to editing and revising. Here's when I'm going to scrap it all and start over. And so I think understanding that it's a process and creating space in your day, in your schedule for that process is critical. And learning this early as a first semester 1L will take you through not only law school, but your time as a lawyer, because writing is really the bread and butter of a lawyer. It's not standing up in court and delivering wonderful arguments. It's part of it, but those cases can be won or lost on paper. And so we hope to build that foundation and communicate that to you early and often.
So I think that that's so important. This is a chance to kind of reboot some of the habits that you maybe cultivated in other work environments or in other educational experiences you've had. The plan is incredibly important. The resources are really, really useful. But one thing that's going to be really important as you look to use those resources is appreciating and enjoying getting feedback. This is the course in law school where you're going to have probably the most one-on-one conversation about your writing, about your analysis. You'll get the most feedback, not only from your faculty, but from the resources Professor Liemer mentioned, your TAs, your writing specialists. And all of those are opportunities. And I think really leaning into those opportunities and hearing what people have to say and hearing that it all comes from a positive place is important for your success now, but it's also, again, an important professional skill to cultivate. When you're a lawyer, you're not practicing in a vacuum. You're going to have other people letting you know if your work is doing what you want it to. And so this is that chance to develop that appreciation.
Definitely. Also, you may be looking at your course schedule and think, well, LMC, that's my 2-credit course. And I've got these other courses that are 4 credits and 5 credits. So where should I focus my time and attention? We've developed the LMC course to make sure it's 2 credits worth of work, not more, but not less. But you should also think in terms of not only does LMC build in the course of the trimester, it builds in the course of the whole school year, because you will take LMC 1, LMC 2, and LMC 3. Each of those courses is 2 credits. So throughout the whole first year, you will take 6 credits of LMC. It's actually more credits in total than any of your other courses. And that's very much on purpose because of how important these communication skills are. And we think of it as the backbone of the first year curriculum, because the things you learn in LMC, you'll use in all of your other courses. You'll definitely use on your residencies when you're a 2L, and again, when you go out to law practice.
Yeah, for sure. LMC is a lot of work, but it's good work. As Professor Zboreak said, it's work that guides the rest of your practice, and the rest of your time as lawyers. And so understanding and appreciating that it's a 3-semester course and that those skills build and increase in some ways is important.
And the practice of law isn't going to take place in the sort of silos that I think you might feel you have when you look at your schedule, right? So LMC provides the foundation that supports all of the different kinds of problems you are going to answer for people, and all the puzzles you're going to work through. And similarly, the rest of your schedule, your courses are separated out into areas of law, but the law itself is all interconnected. And so if you start to look for those threads and connections from the beginning, you'll come out ready to think about these legal issues more holistically, and to see LMC as that through line that's just an integral part of what you're going to be doing.
And a lot of our problems touch on areas that they're studying. Your crim law, you may have an LMC problem that has a criminal law component, or it may have a tort component. So Professor Zboreak is right. It's kind of that common thread throughout your courses. It's an opportunity to make sure you understand those foundational law courses by writing it out, synthesizing a rule, applying a rule to a new fact pattern. And so it is good practice for the law that you'll actually practice when you get out of law school and in law school.
And by the end of the very first trimester, after we do some preliminary skill building and learning how to write a preliminary legal document, toward the end of the first trimester in your LMC course, you will have an opportunity to work through an entire simulation where you start by interviewing a client in a simulation, interviewing a client, researching their problem, and then writing about that problem to your supervising attorney and analyzing the problem and how the law will apply to the client's situation. So even in this very first trimester, as we get toward the end of the trimester, we'll pull together those skills that you've been learning and give you a chance to simulate working for an actual client.
I mean, that's what most students come to law school for. They want that interaction with the real person. And so I love that part about our curriculum, is that we give you that opportunity sort of early to have that simulation. So you get the client experience through working with a mock client, but you feel like you're doing real work for a real person. And that carries through LMC2 and LMC3. So I really love that sort of experiential piece to our curriculum.
Yeah, I think the strategy of thinking through the law is really the fun part. And the fun part of first trimester LMC, where we do get to look at a problem from the beginning and try to figure out where does it fit and how can we get more information, and what information do we want to come back around to after we've started to look and see what the law says. So I think that's that problem solving is one of the best parts of being a lawyer and one of the best parts of LMC.
Yeah, it's where you really get to be creative in law school. You may be surprised to hear that lawyers are creative, but good lawyers are very creative, and you'll figure out pretty quickly where to be creative in LMC. not everywhere, but some of the things are standardized, but a lot of room for creativity, especially in your strategies and your analysis. As you're thinking about how to get started in LMC, if you want to start something this summer, you can already go to Core Grammar for Lawyers. It's one of the required texts. It's an online program where you can practice your basic grammar skills. You can already sign up for it. You don't need a course code, although in the orientation materials that are posted, there is a course code. You don't need the course code to get started on Core Grammar for Lawyers. You can simply try the pretest and see how you do and see if there's some exercises it indicates you should work on. Don't worry too much about things like legal citation, which we will definitely teach you in the course of the trimester. Think more about the basic grammar and punctuation skills that it suggests that you work on. And that's something you could get started on now, and you don't have to wait until the trimester actually begins.
This makes perfect.
Any final words?
I don't think so, other than we look forward to meeting you when you get started at Elon. I hope that you are practicing that writing, whether it's creative writing you're doing over the summer or just reading to get ready for law school, but we look forward to meeting you.
I would just say congratulations. This can be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to meeting you, and just enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you.